was the real deal. To me, that was the perfect time to get a quarterback. All right, so I have to say both. But at this point, the Broncos. I mean, I know I feel like the Broncos are going to get in the playoffs. Okay, the Colts, I think they've got a real shot, but they've really got to keep it. I think winning out would be kind of the only option here for the wild card. But obviously they can't win their division, the AFC South, because they have the Houston Texans. It's going to be impossible for them to even win that division. So I have to say equal, but Broncos, they're not making the Super Bowl. I mean, I'll be very surprised if the Broncos make the Super Bowl. I'll really be stunned. Because how could this team, week in and week out, go into Kansas City, a team that's just been lifeless? I mean, we know how loyal the fans are at our Arrowhead, but they're mocking the Chiefs. Okay? I mean, that's how bad it is in Kansas City. And you can't go in. I know there were swirling winds. I know Matt Prater struggled in the kicking game. But you can't go in there and absolutely stink it up in the first half. It's unacceptable. And be qualified as a Super Bowl contender, that's hard to wrap my mind around. It really is. I mean, maybe they can, change it up. Remember when I talked about New England and I said, I don't think they're going to the Super Bowl? Remember when I said that? Yeah, because they weren't playing consistent football. Even though I had them as my Super Bowl prediction earlier on in the season, in the preseason, still, I'm pretty honest here. I don't see Denver. I'd be surprised if Denver. I mean, I don't know if they can. It depends who they face in the playoffs, but I would be slightly surprised if they made the AFC Championship. I mean, only if they change it up and they play consistent football. It only depends on that, right? That's really what it comes down to for Denver. Okay, let's move on to, yes, that was a great segue, by the way, because I wanted to talk Indy, Buffalo. Okay, very, very emotional victory. I mean, again, this season has been amazing for Indianapolis. Not because of winning football games, but bigger than football. It's about life. Okay? Chuck Pagano, the head coach of the Indianapolis Colts, battling leukemia, and one of the cheerleaders for the Indianapolis Colts, shaving her hair in support for Chuck Pagano. Look, this guy, and Bruce Arians, unbelievable job as an interim head coach. He's a good offensive mind, and he's done a good job keeping this thing together, even without their headmaster Chuck Pagano. It's just stunning to me how Buffalo. I mean, Buffalo. I really thought Indy was going to win this football game, but hey, Buffalo. They had some opportunities too, but they can't win again, and they've really eliminated themselves. 7 losses. They're officially out of the playoffs in my mind. It's going to be very hard to get in the playoffs if you're a Buffalo Bill fan. This was the game today, and Indy, Luck, 1 TD, 1 pick. He got sacked 4 times, which was surprising in my mind. The running game, Vic Ballard, I think he kind of hit the wall a little bit. Wasn't successful in the running game. 13 carries for 41 yards. Look, CJ Spiller had a great day. Fitzpatrick, okay. Just overall, and you look, to me, the thing that really surprised me most is 3rd down. Okay, 4 for 13 for Buffalo, and 8 for 16. That's all I heard. You know who came on the show once, and those of you might remember the kicker. Oh my god, I forgot his name, but we had a kicker come on the show, former NFL kicker, and he said the game comes down to turnovers, third down conversions, and field advantage. Okay, how are you placed on the my goodness, I'm losing the words here. You know what? Check that. My bad. Let's not talk about that. I don't want to delay the broadcast here. You go, getting back to the Bills-Colts point, you go in there, and the penalties, look, I know Buffalo did a good job, alright, I'll give them credit for that. But they had him on the ground, they couldn't get him on third downs. Third downs were critical in this football game. Very critical. So, look, great job, Colts, making the plays when it matters most. They're 7-4. If you told me that the Colts are going to go 7-4 in the preseason, I would have probably not believed you. Really wouldn't. Really wouldn't. Okay. Let's actually take one more break. We're going to take one more break on the program here. I want your thoughts. Please. 949-456-2911. If you want your voice to be heard. Okay? Or you can do what @Noser83 has done. Tweet me at SM_Cameron on Twitter. Or you can comment on the chat board. There's a little green bubble you can click on, and the chat board will pop up, and you can give me your thoughts about the NFL this week. So please be interactive on the program. I want your thoughts. I don't want it just to be mine. It's not just my show. It's your show. And on that note, let's take a quick break. Back on the Cameron Sadeghi Show. I want to talk about the late afternoon session. Games between... Oh, yes. Okay, we'll talk about Chargers Ravens real quickly. I know @Noser83 is just gonna be enraged, but just real quickly, I want to say, Chargers. I mean, it's quite obvious that it's quite obvious that San Diego needs a new coach. And I know, look, you're saying, oh, here comes Captain Obvious. Look, I'm a bigger supporter of Norv Turner than most of the people out there. You go ask anyone on this channel. I like Norv more than most people do. He is an offensive genius, Norv Turner. There is no other guy that can be as great of a genius as Norv Turner in the NFL on offense. But when it comes to game management, when it comes to rallying his troops, when it comes to the penalties, when it comes to the disciplinary things, when it comes to closing out the football game, Norv Turner can't do it. I mean, and some of you are saying, well, Phillip Rivers should go. No! Phillip Rivers is fine. The talent around him isn't as good as years past. Okay? They lose Vincent Jackson. That's huge. To this day, it's shocking to know Phillip Rivers doesn't have Vincent Jackson. Why didn't they give him a better contract to Vincent Jackson? Why, A.J. Smith? A.J. Smith, Norv Turner need to go. Those are the two guys that have been derailing the progress of San Diego. They have made this football team regress. That's all I'm going to say about San Diego, because yes, I can understand that all of you are very annoyed by me talking about this, and I can understand because I do talk about the Chargers quite a lot. Baltimore absolutely had, in my opinion, no business. Well, I mean, look, I think they were the better team, obviously, but they were so tired, so drained. This is a championship team. A championship contender who has no business being in a football game, hanging around, and gutted it out. That's typical Baltimore right there for you. They go in there with no one really thinking they were going to win in the fourth quarter. I said, oh my goodness, here comes San Diego. They're going to win. But guess what? Ray Rice, heart, sweat, tears, guts, extending over the first down marker on 4th and 29 off of the dump off. The Torrey Smith block on that play to help Ray Rice. The Joe Flacco throw to Torrey Smith in overtime. The Chris Tucker kick from 34 yards out. That makes a championship football team right there. Because when you've got no shot, with no one believing in you, on the road, you go out there and prove otherwise. That should be commended for. That should be celebrated for. And Baltimore, to me, some of you might say, well, they've not improved because they don't have, Ray Lewis is out today, and you can say all these things, and their defense is not as good, and all they've improved with, to me, that they can go to the AFC Championship yet again. Yet again. This team has the foundation. Flacco has improved. Flacco made the key throws today. He did. The defense stopping San Diego on making it 3 and out. Really, really, kudos to Baltimore. Kudos to Baltimore. Okay, let's move on. I also promised I was going to talk about Atlanta and Tampa Bay. I glossed over that. My bad. This was a huge game today. Atlanta, really, to me, I can't. This is stunning. I've been using the word stunning this whole time. I apologize. Atlanta, I say this every time. I don't think Atlanta is going to go to the Super Bowl. I don't know why so many people don't like it when I think some people think it's kind of crazy when I say that, because Atlanta really is the same team in essence, by play style in a way, to Denver. Let me explain why. Denver and Atlanta have two things in common. They don't play consistent 60-minute football. They don't. They wait till the second half, or they wait and then win the football game. They don't play from start to finish. It's going to hurt Atlanta. It's hurt Atlanta so much in the playoffs, because when they don't play consistently, when they turn it over in the playoffs, They can't